Hey, hey, hey! How are we all doing? Hopefully everything is coming through fine. I keep getting something about the stream bitrate as a warning. I'm not entirely sure why. It should be absolutely fine. Let me just go over and check how everything is sounding though, because that's what's most important. Okay, I mean, as far as I can tell, everything should be sounding okay. Hopefully everyone's doing alright. This is a very new, very experimental sort of thing for me. I've never done live art in this format. Previously, when I did it, I actually went ahead and used the monitor that I have. Oh, okay. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. What do you mean? I haven't dropped a frame. Everything should be fine. I don't really understand what it's talking about. I mean, I guess we'll see once we actually get into doing something a bit more, like swapping over the screens and whatnot, but I think we should be okay for now. So yeah, so again, normally I would be using the actual additional drawing monitor that I have next to like my setup, but I've really transitioned quite a bit over to using my personal tablet when it comes to doing art, and so I really wanted to see how it would work and if I could get it to work to come over and stream it. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see if I even get anything done. The thing is, I'm sort of forcing myself to try this and see how it goes. This whole idea might just fail completely, but I guess we'll see. Let me just make sure that I've done everything on this end, which I think I have. Let me just... hold on, let me just move myself. Okay, well, here we go. We're just gonna go right into it. I've left you guys down over there in a corner so that at least this can be watched back later on. And I guess just so that there's a bit more going on the screen too. Although to be fair, I might get rid of that chat box actually. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's a little bit in the way. Let me have a look here. Where are you guys? You guys are over there. Boop! And that's it. Bye-bye, everybody. You're now looking at my actual tablet screen, which is interesting. As you can see, I quickly just came up with the the thumbnail just over here a second ago. Hopefully everything is sounding fine. audio-wise too. I'm just going to have a look and see, because I haven't tested it with the music while I'm talking, so let me just have a quick look. Nice, okay. Right. Well, without much further ado, let's just go into it, I guess. Let me just make sure that actually I write this into chat too, so people know what's going on. Right, so this is usually how I like to start. I don't know why. I think because I was so used to drawing on A4 pieces of paper back, you know, when I first started doing artwork in the first place and learning art. And so I think that's just generally the size that I like to draw with while I'm doing digital as well. Not that it means anything, because I you know, I'm sure that there's better configurations that I could be doing, possibly even should be doing, but it's a formatting that I like and I understand. Especially if I ever want to like print stuff on A4, at least I know that things will fit in the ways that I would hope that they would. However, I've realized that I've just opened this in this layout and I actually might want to do landscape, so let's go back and change that over to landscape. There we go. And there we go. I just wanted to make sure that I've got the chat up in front of me as well, so at least I can see what's going on. Can't go wrong with some Pokemon music, which I really hope doesn't get copyright struck, but here we go. We'll certainly have a look to see. So I had a general sort of idea in mind of what it is that I wanted to do. Actually, before that as well, let me just go ahead and save this. You get to see all of the different things that I have saved everywhere, lots of thumbnails and comic stuff as well. What's this? Page 6? You'll have to wait for that one. Right, let's see. Okay, so I always like to label everything as best as possible, so we're going to go with our sketch layer. Sketchy sketch. Always make sure to save. It's not just for games, it's for this too. Okay, now I'm just going to think about the general composition. So, what I might start with first is maybe just his general body shape. I feel like that's not a bad start. I'm just getting myself set up. Ooh, that is the wrong pen. My sketchy pen? That's my sketchy one. I think. Or is it this one? Which one do I use? I think it's this one, it should be fine. Now don't worry, this is just where stuff is just gonna look rough. So this isn't for the neat stuff, this is just for purely figuring out stuff. I think what I wanted... it's the body, actually, that... There's a particular pose that I have in mind, but I'm not sure if it's something that I'm actually capable of doing. I'm certainly challenging myself here with this a little bit. Oh, I just realized, do I even have this stuff turned on? I don't think I did. There we go, I just wanted to make sure that I had the stream alerts turned on as well. Hey, what's up, Sylv? Welcome. Hope you're doing all right. I'm glad somebody is here to witness my struggle as I'm trying to figure out this pose in my head. But I might need to change it. It might be a bit too contortion-y, just compared to the actual skill set that I own. Yeah, let's go back. We'll just change that. Actually, Sylv, I'm surprised that you're here. What time even is it over there for you? You're also doodling, been animating all day, so you're doing cooldown doodles. Fair enough. And I'm just going to be looking at this blank sheet of paper while I try and figure this out. 7:34 PM. Oh, okay, that's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Oh, so it's only 9 hours difference. I see. I said, it's only 9 hours. I say that like it's any small thing. Okay. Let me try and think of this in a way that would make more sense. The vision here. Well, so the vision initially is I had this sort of idea of Supercat, my little character, sort of bursting through some clouds in kind of as if he's sort of learning how to fly, as it were. So he's sort of tumbling over himself in the air. But I'm maybe I need to look up some reference because I'm trying to sort of figure out kind of also the posing, but also the building block of like, how am I gonna make that work? This is what I had. Let's go back and see. Maybe if I just power through, I might be able to figure this out. Again, this is a rough stage. The thing is, I might just be falling back into my general mindset of things need to be perfect right away. If the vision isn't working right then and there, it's not working at all. Which is a terrible mindset to be in, but it's often what paralyzes me the most. So let's see. I might actually make this a little bit lighter as well. May I DM you a pickup Sonic? It's not exactly what you're planning, but you could manipulate the pose to fit. You are more than welcome to. I'll take any kind of help, yeah. Maybe it's because I'm trying to put the head too big, but we'll see. I'm going to continue with this until you do that, because I want to see... Ooh, okay, hold on. That's it. That's not bad. Gets a general sense of the shape of the body. Again, this will look like absolutely nothing to most anyone else watching, but you gotta just savor the vision, you know what I'm saying? Can't send pics on Blue Sky? You can't? This is news to me, he says, even though he's never tried it. Sacre bleu! Mon Dieu, no! Unbelievable. Well, not to worry. I appreciate you wanted to help anyway. Oh my gosh, never mind. I see a different message that's come through. Okay. I do... I do see kind of what you mean. I'm gonna keep that picture up for a sec, because I kind of have something similar up on my screen as well that I've been using as a start. Posing of the arms could work. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. I can see what you mean. The vision sees the vision. Right, let me see if I can carry on with this. So it's coming through like that. To be fair, I might need to make the posing, like the general size of everything, a little bit smaller, but that's fine. I just want to figure this out first. It's kind of like he's popped over, and then we would get the feet, the legs rather, in this sort of... Ooh, maybe not that big. Hold on. Something like that for the foreground one. And then the back one. I gotta remember his tail would be somewhere over here. In this general area. Actually, hold on, just based on this... No, I don't like that for that other leg. Again, for those of you that are new to art or watching artists work, this is mostly kind of what it is. When you just have a general idea in your head. A lot of it is just experimenting and seeing what looks good, what makes that vision in your head feel real enough when you finally put it down on paper. Actually, if that one's up like that, maybe it's worth... Ooh, hold on. It might actually be worth me putting this leg as the back leg. Just so it's not all super symmetrical, you know? This will be more back here somewhere. Let me just erase that just for my own sanity. Am I someone who has a clear vision of what you want or blurry guidelines? So it really depends from day to day. So today, all I knew is, and this is probably the worst way to do it, but it's I had the desire to make something. That desire was just there. And I've been really trying to sort of force myself when I have those moments of desire to actually sit down and go, okay, let's actually do something then. Because previously, that feeling of like wanting things to be perfect right away really debilitated me for a long time. And so I had a kind of an idea of something that I saw a couple days ago on I can't even remember where I saw it, but I saw something that gave me like an image in my head, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm feeling inspired to do something, maybe today is the day that I try and make something to that effect. So it's not a clear picture, and it's more so just trying to force myself through that desire at the moment. But sometimes I do have an actual like clear idea of, oh, this is exactly what I'm going to do, and then I'm still sort of figuring it out as I go. I can't see my vision super clear, so I don't get too perfectionisty. I just look at it and go, it's close enough to the blob I'm seeing in my brain. Yeah, so today's probably that sort of thing. I definitely have like a vague thing in my head. Imagine it as though you were trying to look at a painting through paned glass. Where it's like, it's a little blurry, but I can kind of make out substance. That's sort of what I have going on. Whether that makes any sense, I don't know. But here we are. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna put that foot back there, because then I could do something similar to like that, but obviously better footwork. Yeah, sort of like he's stumbling over himself a little bit. You know exactly what that is? Great, I'm glad somebody at least gets it. I'm glad. Okay, well that kind of works. That sort of gets it across. I'll have to do some tweaking with some of these proportions and whatnot, but that's fine for now. And so then we would have big old tail kind of there-ish, and there would be a cape that would go all through. But again, what I need to do right now is get this a little bit smaller. Might even angle it slightly. There we go. I think the slight angling also helps. And it'll be the fact that there's going to be some perspective works that'll be going on. Well, hopefully. They might not turn out to be that at all. We'll just have to see how it goes. I know that there are perspective tools on Critter here as well, but I'm not super great at understanding how to use them. I mean, I could try and put them down. I think they were in Assistant. Yeah, and there were like 2-point perspectives. Like you know, you can see this sort of grid forming. I'm sure that's great for some people, but I don't understand how I'm setting this up. In fact, actually, I can't really see that, so let's use a different color. A different opacity. Oh, no, I didn't want to put down another one. What are you doing? Maybe even lower than that. So, you know, there's options to make stuff like this, and I could have stuff like snapping to it as well. So, you know, that could be great for like drawing buildings from that perspective and whatnot, but it's not really what I'm going for right now. mean, he's kind of sticking to that perspective-ish. There we go, that's the one I didn't want. Just bring up the opacity. You can sort of see he's kind of doing something, but probably not. I'll leave that on for now until it gets annoying. I say that and it's already getting in the way, so let me just take it off for a sec. Okay. There we go, it's a bit more generally the sort of angle and perspective that I wanted. I'm just going to make him a touch smaller still. You go, I'm finna lurk, but I may be back in chat soon. That's fine, that's absolutely fine. Even if you don't end up coming back, thanks for even stopping by. Very kind of you. Always a pleasure to see you as well. It looks like a bumbling silly. Yeah. The idea is, in my head, is that he's flown through a thick cloud a little bit faster than he was intending, and all that condensation has kind of hit him like a very soft wall, and so now he's a little bit spiraling out of control for a sec. Just in the sky. Okay. Oh, I can still see the guideline going through in the background here. Okay, so that's sketch. Let's do a little refinement here. I forget how much I like Pokemon music. This is great stuff. Okay. And actually, also, let me open up. I might do this character sheet one, just so that I have the like the color references and general sizing references for later too. Hello there, welcome. Welcome back. Long time no see. How we doing? I'm struggling, but that's where I'm at. Where are you at today? I'm hopefully making a little bit of artwork. Very different setup going today, so whether this live stream ends up staying up or not, we will see. Eventually I will also have to leave to pick up my wife from town. Isn't that art in general? Oh, absolutely. Am I just gonna sit here staring at a piece of paper for hours on end and end up with nothing? We'll see. You're surviving too? Hey, you know what? You've made it to another day. That's gotta count for something. Like, ever since I drew this particular proportion, my boy has looked so good. Alright, so if we're thinking as far as refinement, I'm going to start with the head because I'm basic like that. Again, here I'll get to at least properly work out how I want this to work. thing is, he's got funny proportions and facial features as well, so it's always a challenge trying to figure him out from different angles. Just putting the hair down now as sort of general placement for about where that would be. And I'm speaking about the process as well for those that are watching this either live or if you're watching this back later, if I decide to keep it on and you don't know much about art. The reason I'm talking so much as well is I'm trying to talk both you through my process but also myself as like a self-assuring thing. The thing is, I've never taken art as anything more than just a hobby, but I often find myself just comparing myself very critically to other people and their processes, and so sometimes I'm doing things just to tell myself, hey, it's okay, you're doing it right, this is what works for you, or to just sort of encourage myself to just keep fighting through any other doubts that I specifically have. I'm not convinced that that's where that line would go, so I'm gonna leave that for a sec. Might help if I put down generally where I think his nose and whatnot would be, which would be about there. And then eyes somewhere along here. It'll look doofy for a sec, but this is just for my own sake, so that generally I can figure out where certain features are for now. That is a bit too long. It looks dumb for now, but I'm hoping that I can make it look somewhat decent. Again, we'll see. Just get rid of this for a sec, because I think actually making it doofy like that is tripping me up a little bit. Just kind of want to see without that. Something to that effect. I can refine it further even later. Let's not get too bogged down on just one section, because that also doesn't help. Again, can't go wrong with any of this soundtrack. Bangers after bangers. Okay. And then something like this. Obviously, there would be a cape that would also be sort of fluttering about, which, to be fair, would cover probably quite a lot of this, but, you know, that's art. I'm getting too bogged down with the music now. Something to that effect. The big old swooshy cape. Okay, let's figure out the rest of him now. I might actually do this hand first. This is where it's going to get interesting. Something to that effect. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. Just a teensy bit, and maybe slightly alter the shape. Even smaller. Again, it's not the final look for it, but it will get the general idea across for me. Which is what's good. I'm just trying to set it up as best as possible to help myself. Okay, let's have a look here. I don't need that selected. It's fine, and then let's have a look at the rest of the glove. Just sort of come up through... We're trying to sort of visualize... So this will be more rounded. So actually, let me round that out for myself now, just so that I can see that a little bit clearer. And it would come up, back there. would come down through here, behind there. Like I'm just looking at the through line to get the dimensions as best as possible. Which would then connect somewhere down here. Get little spaghetti arms. Yeah, that kind of works. His arms are a little bit longer than they probably would be, but that's okay too. But just for fun of it, let's have a look and see how would it look if we just shortened this a little. If we just scrunched him up a little bit. Well, screw it, that actually looks better. let's do that then. That is what this phase is actually useful for too. Okay. And then we just have his bottom half. Which mostly already looks like how it will look, I'd imagine anyway, in the final product. Thereabouts. Now what I need to do is his little t-shirt, because obviously he's got this little shirt which is somewhat tight-fitting, mostly around the arms, but around here as you can see there's a little bit of a gap because it's loose around the waist, so that he's got more space to move and breathe and bend. So that's what I need to now get right from this perspective. I might just turn this sketch down even more. Okay, let's do 10%, just so that I can see properly what I'm doing with the refinement. It's a good sign that when I look at this, when I go back, my brain and initial instinct is already, oh, okay, this is good. I like this. And that's good. That means that it was worth me sticking out until, the vision came true, or starts coming true. And that's why sometimes you just have to stick through it and just keep at it until, it gets to that point where you start to feel like motivated again. Because that stuff isn't always constant, but that's why you need a discipline to keep going through it all as best as possible. Isn't that right, Swift? Yes, it is. Thank you, me, for telling me that. Okay. So this has come through here. Make it a bit more apparent that comes... Hold on. Let's do it this way. Actually, let me use... you. There we go. Yeah, we can clean that up later, it's fine. So his other shoulder would be somewhere, well, let's see, this shoulder here, that's like here-ish somewhere, right? That's sort of where it would be connecting. It probably would be a little bit more this way, but it's fine. Generally, that's about sort of roughly where it would be. So, with the way he's twisting himself, that means his other shoulder is sort of about here, which does line up nicely in this little sort of triangle formation here, as it were. That's sort of how I'm visualizing. This is like where he's tied that knot for his little blanket cape. So if that's where his shoulder is, then that's where I'm now building out his other arm from. Do I want it open hand or closed? Trying to build this out to see how that would look. Too bad. I just might need to bring this middle finger in a little closer. Yeah, just so that there's less of a gap. And then we can close this up. And let's see if I can tweak this slightly with the perspective tool. I think, well, let's see. Maybe something like this? And then building back from that could work. Let me just check. I thought I heard somebody ringing our doorbell for a second there. I'm just checking that there's nobody outside. That I needed to greet. I don't think there is. I think we're still okay. We're still safe. Oh, you know, actually, now's a great time for me to take a sip of water. I lied. It wasn't water. That's what we would call berry juice. Okay. It would mostly just be his glove that you kind of see. I mean, his gloves are big. In case you didn't notice, he got some big old gloves. Big old kitchen gloves. Because that is what is lore accurate. Put a little scrunchy scrunch. So they would kind of be this general shape, and then his arm would be sort of in here. We'll probably get to show... I'll probably show a little bit of his arm. Let's see, so... Shoulder... Oh, hold on. Actually, let me do this on a different layer. Because then I can always join it up afterwards anyway. But yeah, so this would be generally how that would be shaped. And then the shoulder would come out like this. Probably up like this. I know this is going to be really confusing to look at. for a sec. This is more just for me than it is for you. That would sort of be what his arm would be like, which is, you know, a little odd, but it's fine. Hello, everyone! How are you? Fine, thank you. Thank you, Hephaestus. I hope that was a quote, and if that's just the way that you talk, even better. But not doing too bad. Thank you for popping by and saying hello. That's very kind of you. I say we. I was about to say we're trying to figure this out. It's just me. I'm trying to figure out some sketchy sketches. And now I'm just going to make this... There we go. A little bit more transparent. But I can still see it because it'll help with when I'm doing the line work, just to make sure that everything lines up dimensionally properly. But I don't need it to be in the way of everything else that I'm currently drawing. There we go. Okay, and let's actually name this too, because I'm gonna be really good today. We'll just call it back arm. Nice and easy. Keep it simple, keep it cash. Hephaestus, I'm so sorry. I feel like I was actually really rude. Did I even ask you how you are? How are you doing today? Question, what art program do you use? I am using Krita. Krita. In fact, let me pop it in the chat for those that are interested. That is a great question. Krita, indeed. It is completely free, fairly powerful, not to the same level of like CSP, which is your Clip Studio Paint, or Photoshop, but even by its own right, it's got some pretty hefty gear available in it. And again, it's completely open source, completely free, so anyone can download it. As you can see, I am actually drawing on a tablet. This is the S10 Ultra, but it works on PC and Android. I'm gonna assume maybe Mac as well, or like other Apple products, but don't quote me on that. That might be incorrect. You will want to check their website for that information. But yeah, it works great from what I wanted. I mean, for years and years and years, I was using a program called GIMP. G-I-M-P. Which, now that I know, in comparison to this, what that program was and what it was like, is tragic that that's what I used. But you know, we all got to start from somewhere. I had to upgrade to something after Paint, you know, and that's all I knew. And then eventually I found out about like Fire Alpaca, but I could just never get used to that. But Krita was the big jump that I made software-wise, and I have not looked back. Okay, I think that looks okay. In general for now. Right, let's do his shirt like I said we would. Can't really see his like chest or his body here, which is fine. Oh, still got this on erase. Oh wait, hold on, that's because I'm using the eraser. Like bend it round the 3D-ness of his body. means it would look more like this. Because he's got that sort of band at the bottom of his shirt. Maybe his shirt won't actually flutter as much as I thought it might. Maybe along the way I'll figure that out, maybe I won't. Maybe I'm saying too many maybes. Maybe don't mention it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Alright, that's enough vocal stimming. Let's be more rounded off. Yeah, it'll do for now. These are the areas where you'll notice that there's a lot more like gaps in my knowledge that come through, but this is the same reason I do these sort of things as well, where I'm forcing myself to actually make something when I feel like making something, because it's more of a challenge then, and I'm hoping that I learn through each of these instances, you know? Because I don't know how else to learn. I just gotta do what I can. Okay, and then here's where it would connect to his tail. Now, did I make the tail too big? Or not big enough? Well, it's definitely not big. Not that it's not big enough. I know that that's probably too big. Yeah, it's big and fluffy, but it's not ginormous. Let's figure this out. That was easy. That's perfect right away. Great. Okay. Actually, just going to use the same pen, or brush rather, to erase some of these harder areas. And for this one, I'm not too fussed with leaving the underneath parts that I can see where it like connects up and whatnot. The tail is always more of like a general one big swooping motion that I would use to make it anyway. So I can figure that out pretty easily. And to be fair, I might even make it more, maybe even more exaggerated later, but we'll see. For now, this will do. Am I doing any rigging for animation, or is it just for an illustration? Purely just an illustration. I don't often dabble in anything animated. In fact, let me show you the biggest, most recent animated thing that I even did, which I'm still very proud of, and that is my little PNG avatar that I would use if I'm doing any gaming videos, which you'll find a lot on the channel. Which is this guy here. All animated in Krita as well. Granted, it's mostly just GIFs and individual, like, PNG images. And as you can see, it's very minimal animation. But yeah, nothing too extreme. But this is as far as I've pushed myself so far. Though I do want to do more stuff like this, because I want to make other PNG avatars as well. Anyway, let me get him turned off, because he doesn't quite fit for this scenario. He's got a little gaming controller in his hand that doesn't quite work for art streams. But again, hence why I want to make more, because I want more for art streams and talking in general and other stuff that I might be doing. Oh, thank you, man. No, I appreciate that. I'm glad you like him. Same, but you don't know how to? I mean, there's so many plethora of tutorials available online for just, in general, learning how to animate in whatever medium and format. And stuff can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make them. But the best thing you can do is just to try and do it. After, you know, take a few little examples, go through some tutorials, practice a little bit and just try and make. I mean, from a very young age, I was doing all sorts of different things. I remember I was making flipbook animations. I would make little stop motion animations with like plasticine figurines or little Lego figures. Sometimes with piece of paper, just flipping back and forth, nice and traditional. And thankfully, again, because I was able to make that in this same software within Critter itself, it's fairly easy to figure out through that software. And with the onion skinning, which just means it lets you see the previous frame and the upcoming frame of animation that you're drawing, it's not too difficult to work out the in-between stuff. But again, if you don't know much about that, even just hearing me talk about that probably won't make too much sense to you. So I would definitely encourage anyone watching who's interested in stuff like that, just go and search for tutorials. There's so many out there, and most of them will be pretty good. It'll be hard for any to lead you truly astray in any way. You just gotta start, you know? Right, what was I doing? That's right, drawing still. Okay, now we need that other back foot, which we can see is back there. Have I made that back foot too short? Let's bring the sketch layer up. Yeah, I think now looking at it, that might be too short. Oop, that's still an eraser, that's not going to help me. Let me just get rid of the sketch so that I can see what it looks like. I don't like how that's... No, I don't like how that's looking. So you know what? For this, I'm going to turn the sketch off. And I'm just going to try and figure this out myself. Maybe it's actually worth his feet being a little more bent than I'd originally intended for them to be. Something like that. That looks a little bit better, even just posing wise. Not sold. There's a little toe bend here. It's closer. Nope, still too pointed. It's good enough. It's good enough. And then we would have the white of his tail. Somewhere sort of like this. Okay. Alright, see, again, that's coming together, and I haven't even done the background stuff yet, which is probably something that's worth me looking into doing, actually. Now that I've got this refined, maybe it's... Yeah, let's do... We'll do a background sketch. Call it the BG sketch. Now, would it help if I had this turned on? Let's see. Actually, is there a way for me to move this down? Ooh, hold on, that's not too bad. Whoa, okay. Jeez, I have never experimented with the perspective tools here. Oh, no. Did I just put down a new one? That's not what I wanted. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh, just let me click on the thing. There we go. Whew. I'm trying to figure out like the horizon line for the skyline. And so with this, you know, like the general idea is that he's sort of like come up. Like a spot in the clouds like this, if that makes sense. So the clouds would be down in these sort of areas. Of course, it's going to look awful because I've actually never drawn clouds from this perspective, so we'll see how this goes. But I am going to leave that arrow there. So I feel like that's going to help me with actually visualizing the angle of motion. Let me just check how the music is coming along. You know what? Just because we've had quite a bit of the Pokemon music, let's change it up a bit. Oh yeah, let's go. Oop! Just pause it on my earphones. That's helpful. Now, just as a heads up, I'm probably not going to be finishing this on stream, but I will absolutely be sure to share the end result with you guys on the channel as well in the community tab. So, you know, if you're interested about that, feel free to check it out there, or you can have a look on any of my other socials, really. They are all linked on the channel. But it's just because I'm now conscious of the time, and again, at some point I will have to go to pick up my wife. But until then, we will continue with figuring this out. Definitely will. Hephaestus, you're too kind. Thank you. Right, okay. Clouds. Okay, you know what? Now it's reference time. It is reference time. Let's see, I'm looking up literally cloud references, although I know that this is a very particular angle. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to find... Oh, hello. That's not bad. Let me have a look at this picture. Sorry, you guys won't be able to see what I'm looking at, but might be helpful to me. Maybe it's actually worth... I might have to change the perspective. Hello there, Atlas, or Apollo, whichever one you want to go by. Can't stay long, sketch looks cool. Ah, well, thanks for popping by just to say that. That's very kind of you. You certainly didn't need to, but I appreciate it. Right, hold on, let me move this over here. Oh, no, I'm flipping this around every which way. Way out way. Way. Yeah, let's have it up here. I'm actually not sure if that change has helped. Because if I put it further up... Thanks, you can go by Eva? Well, that's... thank goodness for that. I'm so conscious of getting people's names wrong. And I know people with their usernames especially can be very particular. And I want to be respectful of that. I don't think this perspective is now doing what I want it to do. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave it here. Maybe it's just easier if I just draw a cloud and then try and perspective tool change it. Let's try that. Let me try that. I'll just draw a general something. No, it won't look great, but just want to see if I can get the general idea tested out at least. There we go. There's a very rough cloud thing. Oh my gosh, that's actually kind of working. Huh. Title this stream, Hobby Artist Finally Figures Out Perspective. That kind of works. And then he would be poofing out of a cloud like that. Ah. Okay, that's really good to know. Yeah, perspective is definitely hard. 100%. But that's giving me something at least. I'll have to, like, obviously dot other stuff around, like other clouds and whatnot, just to sell the idea a bit more. Whoops, I keep pausing that. I'm so sorry. That works well. I'm glad you think so too. I'm glad that it looks like it's working well for other people too. That gives me a bit more confidence. And then let's... Ooh, this music is really nostalgic to me for some reason. What is this? Wii music. Let's go. Oh, the Wii music. I mean, it's literally from the game Wii Music. I know it's also on the Wii, so it's a little bit misleading like that, but dang, they really peaked with that era of music. What am I drawing? So, this is my very own character, who is lovingly and very unoriginally named Super Cat. He's existed for quite a long time. And so this is just a little illustration of him soaring through the skies and accidentally flying probably a little too hard through a much thicker cloud than he thought, and so it's causing him to veer off a little bit like he's hit a soft wall. So he's stumbling about a bit in the air. But yeah, this is him. He's an amalgamation of stuff that I would actually do as a child. So, lore-wise, this green cape is a green blanket that he owns, which is actually a green blanket that I also had, that I too would wrap around myself when I was a child as if I were a superhero. And the yellow gloves are kitchen gloves, which is also what I would do. So there's a lot of my own self within this character, and he's also got a blue shirt because blue's my favorite color. You know? He's also got his own comic series. That's something that I've finally started doing as well. You can check out some of that if you so wish. You don't have to, obviously. But there are links to it that are available on, well, just through any of the links to my socials, really, from the channel as well. You can also find some of the artworks on the channel itself in the community tab, if you don't want to go, scrolling through everything for too long. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, the cloud. Losing my own train of thought. What about the mask? Well, I don't know. Superheroes need masks. That's it. I just thought that it added something a little fun to him as well. Does it physically make sense how it's staying on and not connecting all the way? Not anymore. I used to draw him in such a way where it actually fully did connect. But now I just like it like this. Does it have to make sense? No. Does it look nice? I think so. Hephaestus and Apollo. I know, right? You guys must have curated this for the chat. Two lovers of the Greek world. There we go, like a cloud like that. Just to generally get the idea along. Epic the musical? Is that the epic we're talking about? I was there when the stars were formed, boy. Which just means I was there from when they announced it on TikTok. Like way back when the guy was still working on it and then auditioning people. Yeah, that'll work for a general look for that cloud, I think. He'll poof through there somehow, some way. Let's get some other clouds drawn in now. Oh, I did not mean for that to join up over here. I'm just gonna get rid of that so I can then fit that to the perspective as well. You found it through God Games? Unfortunately, I don't know what that is, but hey, whatever way you found it, I'm glad you did. I mean, it's very cool stuff. Actually, I might put this cloud more here. Sort of skirted along. That perspective line. Like that. In the background. I'm realizing now that I should have made these a different color so that I can see them a bit easier, so I might just do that real quick. Maybe I'll make them red just so that they stand out a bit. It's a big tool that I have. There we go. It'll be reddish with a little bit of lime colored in. It'd be cool if it had a feature like they do in CSP. I think in CSP you can do like layer colors. I don't think that that's an option that I have. There's layer style, but I don't think that... Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. Properties. Yeah, no, it's a color label. Not really what I'm after. Do 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 bam 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 bam. Now this, I believe I know, is Wii Fit. I think so. Look at how much clearer that is to see as well with the clouds that color now. Good idea, Swift. Thank you, Swift. Is this Wii Fit? Yeah, it is. Can't pull a fast one over me, eh? You use CSP2 and don't know that feature? Oh, fair enough, a CSP user. Yeah, no, I recently, like a day or two ago, saw a tutorial from somebody on TikTok about it, where he talks about like the fact that people ask him why his layers are colored different, and then he talked about the fact that they're actually not. They're all still drawn in black, but that there's a feature within the layers themselves, or layer styles, or layer properties, or something, where you can change what color or what saturation things on that layer are, and he uses that probably for this exact reason as well, just to be able to distinguish between the different layers, but that the end result would still be, if it's like all line art, for example, would still be whatever original color he drew them in, which for his case would be black. Which again would be a fun feature on this, but it's fine. Okay, I'm actually really starting to be quite happy with how this is coming together. I'm just going to add a few more little clouds for the sketch's sake, just so that I know where those will be later. Yeah, definitely check it out. If it's something that will help you in the future, then yeah, it's absolutely worth knowing. Again, I don't have CSP, so it's not something that I can use myself, but happy to share whatever knowledge I've picked up. Where do we want another cloud? Maybe we can do a cloud like up here or something? Like something to that effect. Let's see if I can make that work with the perspective tool. Probably not. I might have gone a bit overboard compared to what I should actually be doing. But let me just see anyway. Yeah, I'm not convinced that that's gonna work how I think it should, so I'm just gonna cut that actually. Maybe it's easier if actually I just leave it that he's sort of broken free above the clouds, and I could have like some smaller clouds down here. Yeah, that might make more sense. It could definitely be useful. Me and my friend would want to try making a webcomic. Oh, then absolutely, yeah, check that out for sure. And that sounds really cool. What's the sort of general premise? You don't have to like say the whole thing of what it's going to be about, but like, what's the genre? What's the premise generally of what you and your friend are aiming for? And where will you be publishing? Feel free to use the chat as free publicity, I don't care. It's all good in the hood, baby girl. I hate that I said that. don't clip that, don't even quote it. Maybe let's just do a cloud really far away in distance. Something like this, but change the angle and perspective just a smidge. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Okay, nice. Looking good, feels good. And then I guess the sun would be like, well, like here somewhere. Behind like that or something. Ooh, maybe not even the sun. Maybe I could put the little space station from the webcomic up here as like a little silhouette of something through the atmosphere. Maybe. I'll figure something out for there. Let me just put a little circle there just for reference sake. Circles, the hardest things to draw. There we go, that will do. Ulterior Station. It's an epic fantasy with cyberpunk tech. The world mostly has anthro-animal characters, but our main crew doesn't have any. It's going to have a lot of trauma and cool fights. So it's going to be teen and adult. I like that though. That's a very cool sounding concept. Funnily enough, fairly similar-ish to what I'm doing as well. So I like that. You and me were vibing, Apollo. That's what's really happening here. And it must be true because I said it. Love freehanding circles. I do it. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Not too shabby. I'm just gonna turn this perspective tool off, actually. So I don't have to keep seeing it in the way. Yeah, again, not too bad, not too bad. Clouds, let's put you down to 25%. Let's do the same here too. Just lock those for now there, just so I don't change anything with them. Atlas, your profile picture is one of the princesses. Hold on, let me get a gander at this. See if I can do that from here. Oh, interesting. I like the... Well, I was about to say just the mask work, but never mind. The rest of the outfit is real fire too. That's really cool. It's like... Oh yeah, it's got like the insects and... Oh, I dig that. That's very cool. Character design, or outfit design, however you want to call it. Design in general. Right, sorry, back to back to this. You're distracting me with your awesome stuff. Stop it! The attention's meant to be on me. Anything else that I would want to... You know what? While I'm here, just for refining's sake, let's try and figure out the face situation. Because I deliberately didn't do anything with that just yet. I think now might be the time. So, obviously he's going to be quite shocked that he's suddenly tumbling through the air instead of flying like he thought he should. Whoops, that's the wrong color. One of the favorite drawings that you've made. Makes sense, honestly. Sorry, I'm just responding to my wife. I might change the music here real quick. This circus-like music is not really what's doing it for me right now. That's better. I can get down with this. Let's bring this eye down a little bit. Also, your first time drawing a humanoid without a reference. Only a sketch that your friend did for you. Congratulations to you. Any kind of like big step like that is such a like huge milestone in any artist's individual life. So proud of you for that. That's such a doofy looking face. It's not perfect, but I can refine it further as well when I do the actual line art. I'm not mad at that for now. Oopsie daisy. I gotta stop touching my ears. I like that. I might make it so that he's actually a bit more surprised. Here he looks a little bit more worried about what's going on. I think I might make the expression a bit more of shock. Or like startling than looking worried. But I like that for now. I'm just going to turn this on again because I want to see if I can figure out how to do like far off landscape down below where like the shadows of these clouds would also fall. That might not make much sense at the moment, but let me see if I can try and figure it out, and then it maybe will make sense. So the first background will actually be doing the sky colors. Which I will do as such. Well, that's just straight up doing it the wrong way. That's more of what I was after, but I think I'm gonna have to do... more from up here. Maybe not quite as far as that. You know what, I just clicked on this because I thought I'd have a look and then go do something else, but I love chatting and watching you draw. Thanks, Apollo. I appreciate that. It's great chatting with you too. And listen, again, like, even if you just popped in and said hello and then left, that would have been fine too. I'm absolutely fine with that. But I certainly appreciate you sticking around and enjoying this. I'm glad. I'd hope that people have fun with these sort of things. I know it's a very laborious process, and so not everyone can enjoy watching stuff like this, but you know, that's what the whole talking to you guys part is so good with. It's a good break after your D&D character falling into lava. Don't even bring D&D into this chat though. My heart breaks when it comes to D&D, only because, for context for those that don't know, if you're new to this video, this channel, whatever, I have spent so many years in and out of various D&D campaigns, and I have yet to finish a single one. They keep starting and then stopping, or starting and going for a while and then never ending, and then just never carrying on. And I'm so desperate for a good campaign. But that's life, you know. And I've grown so close to those characters as well, and I'm just waiting for the day when finally my chance will come. My prince will come. Right, okay, so I've got the sky colors, but now I'm looking at it, and I don't think there's enough difference. Well, actually, no, it gets light enough down there. Maybe it's fine. And then what I next want to do is the ground, so actually, let's call this landscape. That'll give me a better descriptor word for later when I come back to this. And let's just choose a general sort of color that's not going to clash too much with any of his greens. He's got some greens up here too. It shouldn't clash. Okay, now I gotta figure out... Actually, let's do this with this tool. I don't think that's quite what I was going for. Maybe it's best to snap it to... thing like this? It doesn't really like to go on diagonals, huh? I actually kind of needed to start from, like, back here. You gonna do some finger knitting? Fair enough. Look, you're a very creative person. I like that. No, that ground's not quite working how I want it to. Now I feel like it would be breaking perspective. Because if I do it like this, it goes too far where the ground where the clouds are. Maybe it's better to sort of break it up with some, I don't know, like mountainous regions or coastal lines or something. Try putting a general mountain thing. Again, this might need some perspective tool work. Maybe even like that? Does that break it up enough? Maybe if I make it smaller, let's have a look. Oh, nope, that's... Hold on, I'm in the wrong tool still. Kinda. Hold on, let's quick group this with the background. And then maybe I need to move all this down. No, that doesn't seem right. Maybe I'm not going to be able to make it look like how I meant. Let's see. I need like a little shadow brush, maybe an airbrush? Let's do incredibly smooth. I'm going to use this as reference, but I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Actually, hold on, where would the sun be in this situation? I'm going to say somewhere coming from this general direction, so... Kinda sort of works, kinda sort of doesn't. Like I'd have to separate it onto a different layer. They're just not showing up. Oh, there we go. Maybe something like that. Oh, hold on. Got somebody at the door. I shall return momentarily. Right, okay. Sorry about that. I am gonna have to sort of end the stream there. I know it might be slightly abrupt, but I did mention that, you know, I'm not gonna be able to finish all of this because I do need to start going and doing other stuff soon. But I mean, look at that. We've come a long way. That's what we're looking like at the moment, which, if you ask me, is not too shabby at all. Is that moving on the screen? Hold on. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. But for a second there, I couldn't actually see what it was doing. Yes, I shall hydrate. Here's my schnazberry order. Love it. Keep on hydrated. But yeah, so this is where I'm going to end it for the day. Again, I'll be sure to actually share the end result with you guys once I get there. But I mean, again, not too bad looking at all. Let's get rid of the perspective tools there so we can see. So everything is pretty much planned out. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the shadow work under the clouds to get to work how I want. It's a little simple looking still, but we've come a long way with just the composition of it all. So we'll see how it all comes together. But either way, let me just get this right over here. There we are. All right. Well, again, thank you all so much for coming along. It was a really nice time just chatting with you all and getting to know some of you guys. Yeah, I mean, thank you for joining me on something that was as mildly impromptu as all of this. I like to do a lot of different things on this channel, and it's nice to be able to share it with all of you guys. But that is going to be the end of that for today. So until the next stream that I see you guys, I'd like to wish you all a wonderful day, a fantastic evening, and a perfect morning. Cheerio!